Every time that direct deposit notification buzzes your phone, you face a split-second fork in the road. One path stealthily builds your freedom, the other quietly digs a financial grave you'll have to climb out of later. Which way you lean isn't luck, IQ, or even the size of the paycheck. It's the system you follow the very moment the money lands. Today, we're laying down a 7-move sequence that turns each payday into a wealth engine. Stick around, because the 6th move alone can save you from the blindsided emergencies that bankrupt most families. Picture this: Payday Friday. Your bank app lights up, dopamine spikes, and for a hot minute, life feels wide open. By Monday, autopay bills have feasted on half the cash, impulse swipes chisel away more, and by week 3 the card declines start taunting you at the grocery self-checkout. Sound familiar? Good, because that cycle ends right here. Move 1. Pay yourself first. Before rent, before groceries, before you even glance at Amazon, slice off a piece for future you. Think of it as dropping crumbs that lead out of the financial forest. 10% of net income is classic, 20% is heroic, but if you're stretched, start with 5 or even 1. The magic isn't the size, it's the automatic habit. Set a transfer that snaps the cash into a separate high-yield savings account the second your paycheck hits. Out of sight, out of accidental mind. Do this for 12 straight months, and you'll be stunned by how impossible money quietly stacks up. Move 2. Cover the non-negotiables. Freedom is hard to chase if the lights get cut off. So fund the basics next. Shelter, utilities, groceries, transportation, and the minimums that keep debt collectors from breathing down your neck. Treat these as a fortress wall around your life. Make them boring, predictable, auto-paid. When they're handled first, you kill the background anxiety that triggers reckless spending later. Pro tip: if an expense doesn't keep you fed, housed, lit, or able to earn, it's probably not a non-negotiable. Move 3. Slay high-interest debt. Imagine trying to fill a bucket that has a fist-sized hole in the bottom. That's what credit card interest does to your progress. Attack the ugliest rate first. Extra $20? Throw it at the 19% card, not the student loan at 4. Snowballing feels nice, but avalanching saves you more. And no, minimum payments are not handling it. They're the bank's way of handcuffing you for decades. Strip lifestyle extras, sell unused gadgets, Uber on weekends, whatever it takes, until that toxic balance flatlines. Move 4. Invest in the future you actually want. Now that the leak is plugged, aim money at things that grow while you sleep. Company 401k with a match? That's literally free salary. Grab every dollar. No workplace plan? Funnel cash into a low-fee index fund inside an IRA. Even $50 a month compounds into 6 figures over a career. And don't ignore the highest return asset class of all, your own skill set. A certification, new language, or coding bootcamp can raise your income ceiling faster than the market ever will. Pause a second and take stock. With these 4 moves humming, you've turned chaos into a controlled cash flow machine. You're saving automatically, living securely, demolishing expensive debt, and planting seeds for wealth. But we're not done. The next 3 steps lock the system in place and make sure surprise costs or burnout don't derail the whole plan. Move 5. Budget for the stuff that makes life fun. We're not robots grinding out spreadsheets. Joy matters. But without boundaries, treat yourself moments morph into saboteurs. So carve out a deliberate slice of each paycheck for pure enjoyment. Concert tickets, game night pizza, that niche streaming service you swear you'll cancel next month. Label it fun money, park it in a separate debit account, and spend it guilt-free until the balance hits 0. 2 side effects kick in instantly. First, you stop rating savings for impulse buys. Second, you discover which luxuries actually move the happiness needle versus the ones that were just swipe and forget dopamine hits. When fun is budgeted, Every latte tastes better because it's already paid for. Move 6. Build moats for sneaky, irregular costs. Car tires never blow on a payday, and holiday gifts always feel like they ambush you out of nowhere, unless you're running a sinking fund. Here's how. List every non-monthly expense you can predict. Annual insurance premiums, birthdays, vet visits, oil changes, property taxes. Total them up, divide by 12, and transfer that amount into a separate high-yield stash every single month. Suddenly, December's gift spree or that surprise cavity at the dentist is covered cash up front. No credit card rescue mission required. This single habit turns crises into line items and is the difference between steady momentum and the 2 steps forward, 1 swipe back shuffle most people dance all year. Move 7. Review, tweak, repeat. Money systems aren't slow cookers. You can't just set them and walk away forever. Schedule a monthly money date, 30 minutes with your favorite beverage, bank app, and a notepad. Ask 3 questions. Did my habits match the plan? Where did leaks appear? What changed in my life that the numbers need to reflect? Maybe your rent jumped, your side hustle started printing extra income, or your goals evolved. Adjust percentages, bump up investments, refocus fund money, then lock the new version in for another month. These micro-calibrations keep the whole engine humming and prevent small mismatches from snowballing into disasters. Here's where the game moves from numbers to mindset, because the spreadsheet won't save you if the habits behind it are shaky. First, lock in a 90-second money ritual after every purchase. Sounds silly, but here's the deal. Whenever you tap, swipe, or click Buy, you pause for a minute and a half to ask 3 questions. Was this expense planned? Did it bring noticeable value or joy? Would I do it again tomorrow? Capture the answers in your Notes app. Over a couple of weeks, the pattern smacks you in the face. Half your essential spending is really boredom relief. Once you see it, you can kill it. That tiny post-purchase audit rewires impulse into intention. Next, set up pain-free automation chains that do the heavy lifting while you live your life. Your paycheck now splits 5 ways the instant it clears. Savings stash, bill fortress, debt slayer, investment engine, and fund vault. Push notifications confirm the transfers, and if any piece fails, say your utilities auto-pay bounces, you get an alert within minutes. No more bill surprises, no more late fee donations to corporate giants. Automation is the personal trainer that never lets you skip leg day. Now let's ground this in a real-world win. Meet Sarah, a 32-year-old graphic designer who used to surf overdraft fees like it was a hobby. 2 years ago, her net worth was negative $11,000. She started this 7-move playbook at half speed, 5% to savings, another 5 to debt, $50 to investments, and tracked every latte in a free Google Sheet. Fast forward 24 months. Her credit card balance is 0, her emergency fund is at $9,000, and she's piling $400 a month into index funds. The crazy part? Her take-home pay only rose by 8%. What changed wasn't the size of the paycheck. It was the choreography. Don't underestimate your environment. Clear the temptation landmines. Unfollow flash sale accounts. Delete the food delivery app you hit at midnight. And freeze the credit card you're paying off. Literally drop it in a cup of water and stick it in the freezer. By the time it thaws, you'll have cooled off too. When motivation dips, and it will, lean on future self-visualization. Picture the exact morning 5 years from now when you open your banking dashboard. Credit zeroed, investments humming, 2 vacations booked with cash. Play that scene every payday before you move money around. Neuroscience says visualization primes the brain like a practice drill. You're far more likely to follow through when the result feels vivid and familiar. Let's inject a quick power boost technique for anyone with variable income. Freelancers, gig workers, commission-based hustlers. Open 2 checking accounts labeled Owner Pay and Overflow. Every single client deposit goes into Owner Pay. Twice a month, you pay yourself a fixed salary into your main operating account and sweep the excess into overflow. Good months stop triggering lifestyle creep. Lean months don't trigger panic. Stability in one move. We've hammered tactics. Now pull back the camera and see the bigger arc. Your money now hits 5 intentional buckets inside 60 seconds. Future. You gets first dibs, bills get second, vampire debt gets garlic staked third, seeds for wealth fourth, and joy fifth. Irregular costs can't ambush you because you saw them coming 12 paychecks ago. Monthly reviews tighten bolts before any leak becomes a flood. Tiny feedback loops, 90-second audits, weekly visualizations. Keep discipline on autopilot. Stick with this choreography for 90 days and watch the mental shift happen. Bills no longer feel like shackles. They're just scheduled passengers on a train you're driving. Debt isn't a shame spiral. It's a shrinking number you celebrate destroying. And saving stops being a someday fantasy. It's a live, growing organism you feed before you even taste your earnings. Season 1, Defense Mode. You start by plugging every leak, late fees, subscriptions you forgot existed, that gym across town you haven't visited since the New Year hype died. One quiet Saturday, you line up all recurring charges and ask a ruthless question. Would I buy this again today? Anything that fails gets axed. The average person frees up $100 to $200 a month in this single purge. Yours now funnels straight into the debt slayer or savings bucket, accelerating the flywheel from day one. Season 2, Income Power-Ups. Why play the game on hard mode forever? Raise the ceiling. Schedule a 10-minute weekly slot called Opportunity Scan. During that window, you scour job boards, industry groups, or freelance platforms, not to apply yet, just to spot trends in your field. You'll see the skills that command premiums and the gigs that pay double your current rate. Pick one skill upgrade, carve out 30 minutes a day to practice, and 4 months later, leverage it for a raise, a new client, or a contract side hustle. That extra $400 a month? Route it straight to investments and watch compound interest throw confetti in your honor. Season 3, Lifestyle Design. As cash flow improves, most people inflate their lifestyle like a balloon at a birthday party, then wonder why the stress never leaves. You're different. You script upgrades intentionally. Write a wish list of experiences or comforts that genuinely elevate your daily life. A standing desk, a weekend road trip every quarter, premium espresso beans if that's your jam. Price each item, assign it to the wants bucket, and pace the indulgence. When a wish graduates from list to reality, you'll feel the hit of satisfaction without sabotaging forward motion. Season 4, Wealth Flywheel. With debt shrinking and investments growing, momentum becomes palpable. Celebrate the milestone when your passive gains, dividends, index fund growth, rental cash flow, whatever lane you chose, outpace your monthly fund budget. That crossover point is your first taste of financial self-propulsion. Mark the date, toast it, maybe frame the brokerage statement. It's proof the system works, and it fuels the grind toward the next milestone, when passive income covers a core essential like rent or utilities. Throughout all 4 seasons, run a weekly money huddle, 15 minutes, Sunday night. Check bucket balances, scan upcoming bills, glance at your sinking fund tracker, and set one micro goal for the week. Maybe it's cook 3 dinners at home to reallocate $70, or list 2 items on an online marketplace. Small, clear, executable. Stack 52 of those micro wins and you have a giant leap by year end. Let's zoom ahead 5 years. You open your banking app, emergency fund at 23 grand, investments flirting with 6 figures, high interest debt a memory, and a buffer for every irregular expense from holiday flights to the dog's annual shots. Payday no longer triggers a lurch of anxiety. It's more like moving a game piece you already know will land on a growth square. Your future self doesn't thank you with words. They thank you with options. Options to take a sabbatical, seed a business, help a relative, or just sleep soundly without the 3 a.m. bill panic jolt. And here's a curveball. When you reach that point, keep the buckets, but repurpose them. The debt slayer morphs into a generosity fund, fueling charitable causes, surprise gifts, or random acts that shove positivity into the world. Giving from abundance feels radically different from giving from guilt, and it cements an identity shift. You're no longer someone scrambling to survive. You're someone positioned to lift others. Momentum loves company, so pull in an accountability partner, a friend chasing similar goals, a sibling tired of living broke, or an online community that swaps wins and setbacks. Trade screenshots of monthly bucket progress. Cheer when one of you kills a card or cracks a savings milestone, and troubleshoot when someone trips. Data shows people who share goals publicly stick to them at a far higher rate. Social proof becomes social fuel. Quick reality check. Will unexpected chaos test the system? Absolutely. A layoff, medical curveball, or weird global event can sideswipe any plan. That's why the hierarchy matters. Savings buys you time, sinking funds absorb the semi-predictable shocks, and a habit of reviewing the numbers lets you reroute cash the moment life zigzags. Financial resilience isn't rigid. It's a bamboo stalk. Bends with the storm, never snaps. Let's dial up the velocity and talk about the turbo boosters that wealthy people bolt onto this same 7-move chassis. First comes the tax shelter stack. While your friends panic in April, you're quietly siphoning cash through legal side doors that shrink your taxable income. Max the company 401k match? Sure, but don't stop there. Drop extra into a Roth IRA so future withdrawals are tax-free. Got a side hustle? Open a solo 401k or SEP IRA and pack even more away. Every untaxed dollar is a stealth raise. You just gave yourself a salary bump the boss never approved. And no, you don't need an MBA to file the paperwork. Brokerage platforms walk you through it in 5 clicks. Second is the automation ladder. Picture a set of timed relays. Direct deposit fires, buckets fill, then, one level deeper, your brokerage sweeps idle cash into fractional shares every Friday afternoon. Dividend reinvestment spins those payouts right back into more shares, compounding on autopilot. Layer on a quarterly credit card perk sweep. Cashback earnings funnel straight into the investment account instead of disappearing in your checking balance lagoon. Each layer might look tiny, but together they accelerate like stacking nitro shots in a street racer. Now let's confront myth number 1. I need big capital to invest. False. If a 12-year-old can buy partial Apple stock with birthday money, so can you with the $15 left over when gas prices dip. The point isn't the dollar amount, it's the identity shift from consumer to owner. Once you taste that first 2-cent dividend, you're hooked. The market pays you for existing. Scale follows naturally. Myth 2. Budgeting kills spontaneity. Reality check. Nothing squashes spontaneity like overdraft fees and anxiety. A plan is oxygen. It lets you say yes to last-minute weekend trips because you know exactly which fund covers them, and you know essential bills are already locked down. Let's weave in a monthly milestone ritual that keeps the fire lit. On the last evening of every month, pull your net worth snapshot, total assets minus total debts, and scribble the number on a sticky note. Doesn't matter if it's negative 60 grand right now. Tape it inside a closet door where only you see it. Next month, write the new number on top of the old and stack them like a paper ladder. Watching that metric crawl upward, even by a sliver, triggers a dopamine trickle far stronger than random shopping cart highs. Talking about highs, here's a psychological hack called reward pairing. Whenever you knock out a boring financial task, updating sinking fund totals, reviewing insurance deductibles, pair it with something you genuinely enjoy. Your favorite playlist, a fancy coffee, 10 minutes of meme scrolling, whatever. The brain wires the unpleasant chore to the pleasant stimulus, and resistance drops. It's Pavlov for prosperity. All right, cue up a quick case study montage to prove the system scales across backgrounds. Luis, 24, barista. Started with a net income of $2,000 a month. He ran the buckets at micro level. $10 to savings, 40 to debt, 20 to investments. 1 year later, his credit score jumped 90 points, and he's cash flowing a community college diploma that'll triple his earning power. Nadia, 41, single mom. She funneled her tax refund into a 3-month emergency fund, then automated bi-weekly transfers to a Roth. 2 years on, her kids' after-school fees get paid from passive ETF dividends instead of payday loans. DeAndre, 58, sales veteran. High income, but late start. He sold the third car, downsized housing, and slammed 60% of net pay into a solo 401k. 5-year catch-up contributions plus market growth chopped 7 years off his retirement timeline. Different ages, incomes, lifestyles, same choreography, same results. Before we roll into the final crescendo, address the elephant in the room: economic curveballs. Inflation spikes? You widen the essentials bucket temporarily and pause big discretionary buys. Market dip? Stay the course. Dollar cost averaging just handed you a sale on shares. Job loss? Emergency fund floats you while unemployment checks in. The system flexes like shock absorbers. It doesn't crumble. Let's sneak in a 50-day acceleration challenge for overachievers. For the next 50 paydays, weekly, bi-weekly, doesn't matter, capture an extra 1% of take-home and throw it at the highest impact bucket for your situation. Could be debt, could be investments. 1% is usually less than the cost of a takeout meal, so your lifestyle barely notices. But your annual savings rate jumps 12 to 26% depending on pay frequency. Stack that for 5 years and you're staring at an extra 5-figure cushion. Final concept before we tie the ribbon. Wealth isn't a number. It's the freedom to choose. Choose projects over paychecks. Choose rest over overtime. Choose generosity over scarcity. These 7 moves aren't cages. They're keys. Every payday from this one forward, you are no longer reacting. You're executing a playbook that already has your name on the cover. First, slice off a piece for your future self. Lock in the roof over your head, the lights, the food on the table. Strap a stake through high-interest debt until it's a footnote, not a threat. Plant seeds in markets and in your own skill set so tomorrow's income earns while you sleep. Budget joy on purpose so the present feels alive. Salt away cash for the tires that blow and the holidays that always arrive sooner than you think. And once a month, pull the whole machine onto the pit lane, tighten the bolts, refuel, and aim it back onto the track a little faster than before. That rhythm turns money from a source of anxiety into an engine of options. Options to take a sabbatical instead of sick days. Options to back a friend's crazy idea. Options to walk away from a job that drains you and toward work that lights you up. The numbers on your screen are only scoreboards. The real prize is the freedom to choose. You don't need perfect timing, lottery money, or Wall Street wizardry. You need simple moves performed with relentless consistency. 90 days from now, you'll feel the first gust of momentum. A year from now, you'll wonder how you ever lived any other way. 5 years from now, you'll watch compound interest and skill-driven raises do things that feel like science fiction today. And if you ever stumble, because everyone stumbles, come back to the hierarchy. Protect, eliminate, grow, enjoy, prepare, review, repeat until it's muscle memory. If this blueprint lit a fire under you, do one thing right now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss the next strategy drop. Smash the like to let the algorithm know you're part of the crew, and share this video with someone who's ready to swap paycheck panic for financial power. Drop a comment telling me which of the 7 moves you're attacking first. I read every single one and I'll be cheering you on. Your next paycheck is the doorway. Step through it, run the playbook, and start building the life you actually want. Let's make freedom your default setting. See you in the next video.